Hey there, welcome back to the channel. If you've been through a breakup or witnessed one, you know just how messy and confusing they can be. But what if I told you not all breakups are the same? There's actually a big difference between what people call real breakups and what many refer to as fake breakups. And trust me, understanding this distinction can make all the difference when it comes to healing and moving forward. Let's start with the basics. A real breakup happens when both partners have reached a conclusion that the relationship is no longer serving their needs, and that's the final decision. It's not an easy thing to go through, but it's clear. No ambiguity. You break up because something fundamental is broken in the relationship, whether it's communication, values, trust, or simply growing apart over time. A real breakup comes with the understanding that both people are emotionally and physically going to part ways, and there's an acknowledgement of that loss. It's painful, sure, but there's clarity and finality to it. On the other hand, a fake breakup can often feel like you're stuck in a constant state of confusion. A fake breakup is one where the end isn't actually an end. It might happen out of anger, frustration, or in an attempt to manipulate or control the other person. You know the kind of breakup I'm talking about. 1 minute you're told it's over, and the next minute you're texting again as if nothing happened. These breakups can drag on for months or even years because they're more about emotional roller coasters than actual resolutions. The person who initiates a fake breakup might be looking for attention, trying to get the other person to chase them, or even using the breakup as a way to test the relationship. So, why is it important to understand the difference? Well, if you're dealing with a real breakup, you can grieve, process, and eventually move on. But when you're stuck in a fake breakup, you're left in a state of limbo, constantly wondering whether it's really over or if you're just going through a temporary emotional patch. Fake breakups don't allow for healing because they never let you fully let go. This confusion can prolong the pain and prevent you from gaining the closure you need. Throughout this video, we're going to explore these two types of breakups in depth. You'll learn how to recognize the signs of both real and fake breakups, understand the behaviors that define them, and figure out how to respond when you're in one or the other. This knowledge can help you make better choices in your relationships and protect your emotional well-being. If you're ready to get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future relationship insights. If this video resonates with you, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Let's dive into understanding the behaviors that define a real breakup and how you can tell when it's the real deal. Number 1. Real breakups, characteristics and signs. Real breakups are often difficult, but they come with a sense of finality and clarity. One of the first things that sets a real breakup apart is the communication that typically happens between both partners. While emotions can run high, real breakups often involve an honest conversation where both parties express their feelings, their reasons for wanting to part ways, and sometimes even mutual acknowledgement of the relationship's end. It's not about a temporary emotional reaction. It's about an actual decision made after weighing the relationship's ongoing issues. For example, in a real breakup, you may find that both partners are clear about why the relationship has ended. Perhaps there were trust issues, a growing sense of incompatibility, or the realization that both people want different things in life. Whatever the reason, there's a clear acknowledgement that it's time to move on. Real breakups come with a process of reflection and consideration, usually over time. Maybe there were discussions before the breakup about how things were not working, or there was a series of events that led to this moment. Either way, the decision to break up doesn't come out of nowhere. A real breakup also brings closure. Sure, the emotional aftermath can be tough and healing might take time, but both people typically understand that it's over and that they need to create space from each other in order to heal. You'll notice a significant shift in how both people act after a real breakup. One of them might take a break from all communication, or they might choose to establish clear boundaries like cutting off contact or social media connections. This allows both individuals the time and space they need to process the breakup without the constant reminders of each other. After a real breakup, it's common for both parties to start focusing on their own personal growth. There may be moments of sadness, but the finality allows both people to move forward in their own separate directions. This is the key difference between real and fake breakups. Real breakups allow for closure and the opportunity to learn from the relationship's end. The pain doesn't last forever, and people eventually move on with their lives. Number 2, fake breakups, identifying the signs. Fake breakups, on the other hand, can feel like emotional chaos. Unlike real breakups, these are often initiated in moments of frustration, emotional instability, or even manipulation. You know the drill. One partner storms off, saying, "It's over," but then a few hours or days later, they reach out as though nothing happened. They might start texting, calling, or even showing up at your door, all while claiming that they need space, but still maintaining contact. This confusion is a huge red flag that you're likely dealing with a fake breakup. So, how do you know when you're in a fake breakup? A major sign is inconsistency. If the breakup feels sudden and unprovoked, like there wasn't much lead up to it, or it happened after an argument that was blown out of proportion, it's a classic indication that the breakup isn't genuine. Instead of discussing the issues in the relationship, the breakup feels more like an emotional reaction, with little regard for whether the relationship is really over. The person initiating the breakup might feel overwhelmed or angry in the moment, but they're not actually willing to let go for good. Another sign of a fake breakup is emotional manipulation. If someone threatens to end the relationship as a way to get the other person to behave differently or change something about themselves, it's a form of control. Fake breakups often emerge from someone's desire to provoke a response, whether they want to make their partner chase them, make them feel guilty, or simply test the waters of how much the other person cares. In this scenario, the breakup becomes less about the relationship's genuine end and more about a way to manipulate the emotions of the other person. If you find yourself dealing with a fake breakup, it's important to recognize that the core issue is likely not about the relationship's termination. Instead, it's about how one or both partners are emotionally processing stress or conflict. Fake breakups often stem from unresolved issues and are rarely the result of a mutual agreement to part ways. Instead of truly addressing the problems within the relationship, these breakups are more about drawing attention to certain needs or desires. Number 3, why fake breakups are so confusing. One of the most frustrating aspects of fake breakups is the overwhelming and often maddening mixed signals. In a real breakup, the end is clear. Sure, emotions are high, and it's an incredibly painful process, but both partners understand that it's really over. You can feel the finality in the air, even if the emotions are still raw and tender. You might cry, feel heartbroken, and grieve the loss of the relationship, but deep down, there's a certain clarity that the decision has been made, and both parties are ready to let go, however hard that may be. There's no ambiguity about where you stand. The relationship has ended, In contrast with a fake breakup, the whole situation can feel like you're trapped in an emotional whirlwind. It's like one moment your partner is telling you that it's over, possibly even packing their things or saying something dramatic like, "I need space," or "This isn't working." But then, just hours or days later, they're back texting you, calling you, or even suggesting a meetup. It's like you've just had a breakup, but now you're being yanked right back into the relationship. These constant shifts can leave you feeling completely disoriented. You're left wondering, what's going on? Are we really over or not? Am I supposed to be moving on, or are we just on a break? The constant emotional flip-flopping can leave you mentally and emotionally drained. There's no sense of closure, and the lack of consistency in their behavior can make it feel like you're walking through quicksand. You're trying to move forward, but you keep getting sucked back into the same emotional patterns. This emotional roller coaster often leaves one partner questioning the sincerity of their partner's actions. Is this breakup real? Or is it just another temporary fight? Are we just taking a break, or is this the end of our relationship? These types of questions often pop up in a situation like this, leading to confusion and emotional distress. Fake breakups don't allow the necessary space for closure. Instead, you're caught up in a whirlwind of doubt, where everything feels unresolved. You don't get the chance to process the breakup because there's no finality to it. Every time you start to move on, a text, call, or gesture from your partner pulls you right back into the emotional chaos. What makes this situation even harder is that fake breakups often involve a lack of direct communication. Rather than talking openly about the issues that led to the breakup or having a productive conversation about the relationship, the person initiating the breakup is often acting out of frustration or emotional turmoil. They may not even fully understand why they're calling it quits or why they're coming back into the picture shortly after. This behavior adds to the confusion, as it creates a situation where you're left trying to decipher their true intentions. Are they really done? Or is this just their way of trying to get attention or provoke some sort of response? In this context, it becomes nearly impossible to trust that their actions align with their words. Being stuck in this cycle is exhausting. It can make you feel emotionally unstable because you're constantly caught between conflicting signals. One moment, it feels like everything is falling apart, and the next, it feels like everything is okay again, only for the pattern to repeat. Over time, it can start to feel like you're living in a perpetual state of limbo, unable to move forward, but also unable to fully go back. If you're in this situation, it's essential to take a step back and assess what's really happening. Are you truly done, or are you both stuck in unhealthy communication patterns and unresolved emotions? Fake breakups are often a sign that there are deeper issues at play, and these patterns will only continue unless both partners confront the underlying problems. Recognizing these mixed signals early on is crucial to breaking the cycle. It can save you from the emotional turmoil of constantly second-guessing yourself and wondering whether or not to invest in the relationship anymore. By understanding when you're caught in the confusion of a fake breakup, you can start to take steps to protect your emotional health. Having clarity in any relationship is key to healing, and fake breakups prevent that clarity from ever being reached. The sooner you recognize the pattern, the sooner you can make decisions about how to proceed, whether that's to call it quits or to address the issues in a more direct, healthier way. Number 4. How fake breakups impact emotional health. Fake breakups can have a profound and lasting impact on your emotional health, often leaving you feeling mentally and emotionally drained. The constant back and forth mixed with the absence of clear closure, creates a breeding ground for uncertainty and insecurity. When you're constantly left questioning the status of the relationship, never truly knowing if it's over or just another temporary setback, it becomes incredibly difficult to trust both your partner and the relationship itself. One minute, you might feel a sense of hope, thinking that things will get better and that the breakup was just a result of a rough patch. But the very next day, you're thrown back into a whirlwind of doubt, confusion, and emotional turmoil. This cycle can have a significant toll on your mental well-being. What's most challenging about fake breakups is that they create an emotional instability that doesn't allow you to heal. Unlike a real breakup, where there's clarity and you're allowed the space to grieve and move on, a fake breakup traps you in a continuous loop of emotional highs and lows. This emotional instability can wear you down, causing you to feel exhausted, frustrated, and stuck. You're constantly riding a wave of uncertainty where each emotional outburst or dramatic declaration of a breakup leaves you unsure whether you're facing the end or simply going through another bump in the road. This level of confusion can be both mentally and physically draining. The more time you spend in this cycle, the more you lose your sense of grounding. The lack of resolution keeps you hanging on, always waiting for the other shoe to drop, never allowing you to let go and truly move forward. One of the most damaging aspects of fake breakups is the effect it has on your self-esteem. When you're caught in the back and forth of a relationship that's unsure about whether it's over or not, it can cause you to question your own worth and your place within the relationship. You might find yourself wondering, why am I not enough for them to make up their mind? This kind of uncertainty can chip away at your self-confidence and make you doubt your value as a partner. You might feel like you're not living up to expectations, or you could start to believe that your partner doesn't truly care about you if they can't make a clear decision about the future. This emotional toll is exhausting, and over time, it can lead you to feel unimportant, invisible, or even undeserving of love and commitment. Furthermore, being stuck in a fake breakup situation can make you lose touch with your own instincts. The emotional chaos created by these mixed signals can cloud your judgment, making it harder for you to trust your own feelings and intuition. You may find yourself doubting your instincts, constantly second-guessing yourself, and questioning whether your feelings are even valid. The constant back and forth can leave you in a constant state of emotional confusion, where you're unable to trust your own emotional responses to situations, and instead, you wait for your partner to give you a signal of what's really happening. This sense of powerlessness can lead to a breakdown in self-trust and self-worth. The longer you remain trapped in a fake breakup cycle, the harder it becomes to break free from it. You start to feel like you're stuck in an emotional quicksand, where every attempt to move forward only pulls you back into the same patterns of confusion and doubt. This prolonged state of emotional turmoil prevents you from healing and growing as an individual. If you stay in a relationship defined by fake breakups, you risk losing valuable time and energy that could be better spent on personal growth and self-care. It's essential to reevaluate whether this relationship is really in your best interest, especially if it continues to negatively impact your emotional well-being. Your emotional health is incredibly important, and staying in a state of limbo for too long can rob you of the peace and closure you need to heal. Fake breakups may prevent you from finding resolution, but they also prevent you from moving forward. Healing requires space, clarity, and time, none of which are possible when you're caught in the confusion of a relationship that can't seem to make up its mind. It might be time to make a difficult but necessary decision to step away and prioritize your own emotional health. Breaking free from this cycle is crucial for your growth, happiness, and overall well-being. Number 5. Why people initiate fake breakups. Understanding why someone might initiate a fake breakup is crucial for navigating these emotionally complex situations. While fake breakups can be confusing and hurtful, they aren't always rooted in malicious intent. Often, they stem from deep-seated fears, insecurities, or a need for validation. For example, some individuals may use fake breakups as a way to test their partner's commitment. If they feel insecure in the relationship or fear being abandoned, they might threaten to break up as a way of gauging how much their partner truly cares. In these cases, the breakup isn't about actually ending the relationship, but rather about seeking reassurance. The person initiating the breakup wants to see if their partner will chase them, make an effort to prove their love, or show that they are invested in making things work. This behavior is rooted in vulnerability and fear, not a genuine desire to end the relationship. However, fake breakups aren't always driven by insecurity alone. Sometimes they arise from a lack of effective communication. If one partner feels emotionally overwhelmed or misunderstood, they might lash out impulsively and throw out the idea of breaking up as a way to release tension. When emotions run high during a fight or stressful period, one person may say, "I can't do this anymore," or "we need to break up," not because they truly want to end things, but because they are struggling to communicate their feelings of frustration, disappointment, or confusion. Rather than addressing the underlying issues in a calm and thoughtful way, they resort to the threat of a breakup as a way to cope with their emotions. Unfortunately, this tactic rarely leads to resolution. Instead of creating space for healthy communication, it often leaves the other person wondering whether the breakup threat is real, creating confusion and emotional instability. It can also prevent both partners from addressing the deeper issues within the relationship, which only exacerbates the tension in the long term. In some cases, fake breakups are used as a form of emotional manipulation. One partner might use the threat of breaking up as a way to control or manipulate the other person's behavior. This can be especially common in relationships where there is an imbalance of power or unhealthy dynamics. For example, someone might threaten to break up to see how much their partner is willing to fight for the relationship, or to make the other person feel guilty or insecure. This tactic can be a form of emotional blackmail, where one person uses the threat of a breakup as leverage to manipulate their partner's actions, emotions, or decisions. It might be used to get their way, to test the other person's loyalty, or to gain an advantage in an argument. This type of manipulation is incredibly toxic and draining for the person on the receiving end. It creates a constant sense of instability and fear, where they're left wondering whether the relationship is truly on the line or if their partner is just playing a game. In all of these cases, fake breakups are often rooted in a lack of healthy communication, emotional intelligence, and respect for the other person's feelings. Instead of addressing the issues at hand in an honest, direct way, one partner may resort to threats or dramatic gestures as a way to cope with their own fears or frustrations. These actions can undermine the trust in the relationship, leaving both parties unsure of where they stand. If you find yourself in a relationship where fake breakups are a regular occurrence, it's important to evaluate whether the relationship is built on healthy communication and mutual respect, or whether it's fostering a cycle of emotional turmoil and manipulation. The longer this dynamic continues, the harder it becomes to break free and rebuild trust. I hope this helped clarify the key differences between real and fake breakups and gave you some tools to understand your own relationships better. Breakups are tough, but they don't have to leave you stuck in confusion or pain. If you've experienced a fake breakup or have any advice of your own, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for more relationship tips and personal growth content. Thanks for watching and take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video.